In the following example, I'm going to show you how to go about balancing a chemical equation. So in this example, I have gallium, Ga, plus nitrogen, N2, and it's going to react to form gallium nitride, GaN. There are 5 steps to balancing a chemical reaction. The first one is if it's given to you as a word problem or the equation you have to write on a separate sheet of paper, write out the equation. That's a lot of cases just simply copying it from where you see it on the screen to your paper. The second step is to go ahead and create a T-chart that's going to separate the reactants from the products. And my reactants are always found to the left side of the arrow, and my products are always found to the right side of my arrow. In this case, I've got gallium, Ga, and nitrogen, N2, which are my reactants, and I've got GaN, which is my products. The third step is to go ahead and then write out all of the reactants that are present in the initial problem. So our initial problem has a gallium atom listed. Alright, so I'm going to write that on the reactant side. And because it's on the reactant side, I'm also going to write it on the product side. On the reactant side, I also have 2 nitrogens and N2. So I'm going to go ahead and put down 2 nitrogens on my reactant side. And then I'm going to put those nitrogens on the product side, but I'm going to change how I put those nitrogens down. If you look at the original problem for GaN, there's 1 gallium for every nitrogen. And so I'm going to organize my nitrogen atoms so that they're going to be paired up how they're going to be used on the product side. So I'm going to put a nitrogen down next to the GaN. And if you look at this, I formed one of our products, GaN. That's what we're trying to form. And then I'm going to put my second nitrogen down below. Now, this second nitrogen also needs to be paired with a gallium atom to form GaN. We can't just have nitrogen by itself. So the fourth step, what it asks you to do, is you go back to the reactant side and you look at your reactants that are available, and you're going to add additional reactants as needed to complete our product. So we're trying to complete GaN. We have a nitrogen, so I need to add an additional gallium atom. So I'm going to put a additional gallium atom down on my reactant side, and if I put it on that side, I have to put it on my product side. So in doing so, we've now formed a second gallium nitride. The last step for this equation here is that I'm going to count up how many reactants I have on my reactant side of each atom or compound, and I'm going to do the same on the product side here. So looking at this, I use 2 gallium, so I'm going to put a 2 out front. I still only have 2 nitrogens, and that 2 next to the N there represents that 2 nitrogens already present, so I don't have to put anything with that. If I did need additional nitrogens, you still leave that 2 there. You just put the number of pairs that you need out front. The last part then is to count up my products here, and I count up every one of those GaNs that I circled, and so I made 2 of them, so I'm going to put a 2 out in front of GaN. Now in doing so, what this says is it takes 2 gallium atoms plus a pair of nitrogen atoms to form 2 gallium nitride compounds. And so this is considered balanced at this point. There's nothing that's on the reactant side that's not on the product side. And I don't have anything on the product side besides GaN. So I hope this is helpful. I'm here to answer questions and continue with the presentation.